is now making his way to the world-famous octagon, flanked by UFC CEO Dana White, 45, soon to be 47, President-elect Donald Trump.
I wish the people at home could hear the sound in this room.
It's so loud in here.
It is so loud.
UFC has been completely taken over by the MAGA cult. We're going to look at what happened in Madison Square Garden over the weekend at a UFC event, but this really is a sort of natural follow-up to our recent story about how a lot of theoretically non-political spaces, including creators related to business or sports or fitness or whatever, have been culturally coded with, that's C-O-D-E-D, with messages that push people towards a right-wing-ism, MAGA-ism, voting for Trump. And now we come to UFC.
Hey everybody, this is Troy over at Uncomfortable Truths. Thanks for checking me out. So today we've got full-time crybaby David Pakman whining about the fact that people in UFC support Trump. Now this is one of the more ridiculous arguments that he's going to make, because David Pakman is going to go on and cry about the fact that most people that are playing sports are right-wing. Most of the people that are in business are going to be right-wing. And he can't seem to understand that the reason why that's the case is because when it comes to things like sports and fitness, that actually takes personal effort and personal accountability, which is something that people on the left don't tend to value as much as people on the right. When it comes to things like business, well, Republicans are known for actually being a little bit more business-minded than Democrats. But instead of realizing this and thinking, what can we on the left do to actually get people to agree with us? Instead, he's just going to whine and talk about how everybody that doesn't agree with him is in a cult.
Well, all of a sudden, the Trump MAGA crowd has completely taken over Ultimate Fighting. Dana White, who's the owner of UFC, loves Trump. And over the weekend at a UFC event in New York's Madison Square Garden, Donald Trump was welcomed with a full-on Trump propaganda reel that played on the Jumbotron. One of the fighters, John Jones, praised Trump during his victory speech and handed Trump his belt. And then also Trump and UFC commentator Joe Rogan had this love fest of hugs. We're playing the video here. Here is Trump showing up and going over. He shakes Rogan's hand. And then he shakes some other guy's hand, then hugs Rogan, and then they're talking. It's a love fest. I assume Trump's saying, thank you for endorsing me very strongly endorsement. And, you know, the whole thing. Everybody loves each other. Everybody's cheering, whatever.
Baby boy is not taking Kamala Harris's loss well at all. And it's funny that he's so upset that all of a sudden UFC is supposedly some MAGA right-wing horrible propaganda outlet, because he had nothing to say when you had Beyonce going out doing concerts for Kamala Harris. He didn't have anything to say when Lizzo was doing the exact same thing. Or how about George Clooney being the one to come out and say, well, actually, I don't think that Joe Biden should be running anymore. Democrats are ran almost entirely by celebrities and donors. So for him to be so upset about this is absolutely crazy. But here's the deal, guys. Dave Pakman and other far leftists like him make up only a small minority of the country because people just don't agree with him. That's why they voted for Donald Trump. That's why Donald Trump won the popular vote. He won all of the swing states. It is America that is MAGA at this point. And it's not just a couple of places here or there. It's not that the UFC is some sort of particularly far-right Trump thing. They have done such a bad job on the left running the country that everybody has seen, hey, we had Donald Trump as president, and we've had far leftists like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden as president, and this is a no-brainer. We're running with Trump. And Dave Pakman just can't handle it because he's a crybaby.
We get to the cultural sort of situation here. We've talked a lot about how you find health and fitness influencers on YouTube, and their messaging is coded with right-wing language. You find entrepreneurship and business content on TikTok, and you start to get subtle cultural messages and sometimes not so subtle that obviously if you believe in all of this stuff, you must also be voting for and supporting Donald Trump. You find it in all of these different cultural spaces, and this is somewhere the left has really failed. And it's not, you know, we keep hearing the phrase, the left-wing Joe Rogan. It's not about that. It's about entire spaces that have been taken over with this culturally right-wing stuff. And the epitome of that example is UFC.
Yeah, no shit, some of these spaces are going to be more right-wing because most of the country is right-wing, which is why the conservative candidate won the popular vote. But also, just think about this for a second. If you're a fitness instructor, that means that you're somebody who thinks that you should take personal accountability for your own health. That is not a left-wing idea at this point. Left-wingers are the people who are going out saying, you're perfect however you are. We're part of the body positivity movement. We think that we should allow biological males to compete in female sports. So yes, you are going to be ostracized and not be considered part of that community because people don't take that seriously. That has been rejected. And when it comes to personal finance or when it comes to entrepreneurs, yes, they are going to want the conservatives to be in power. The reason for that is pretty simple. Nobody wants to build up a business from the ground up, take all of the risks of starting a business, have that business become successful, and then be told by every left-wing podcaster that, oh, we need to tax the hell out of these people and give that money that you made to a bunch of people that don't want to work. So yes, these places are going to be more right-wing.
Now, I know that there are some of you who would say, David, obviously UFC would be coded right-wing. It's about something that, some people don't even think it should be legal. The idea that you would enjoy two men or two women beating the hell out of each other, pointing themselves on a life path towards brain injury and CTE, all to fulfill this extraordinarily limited and short-sighted view of what masculinity means, or in the case of the women's fights, I don't know, femininity, I'm not even really sure. Of course that's going to appeal more to right-wing people.
So this clown is wondering why sports organizations like the UFC lean right-wing. Dude, just listen to the way that you're talking about some of these other people, saying, oh, this is just short-sighted if they want to do an activity that I don't want to participate in. Maybe there's a little bit more to it than just wanting to beat the hell out of somebody else. Maybe it's something that they've trained a number of years for, sacrificed a lot because they wanted to test themselves. But no, you don't understand that. And you don't accept that because somebody else wants to do something that you're too scared to do, that there might actually be some value in it that you're not seeing right away. And this is why this is going to be a right-wing place. Because people like you don't even value the sport at all. And then you wonder why people aren't actually agreeing with you who are involved in that sport. Well, that's a ridiculous stance to take. And you're a bit of a joke if you can't understand that. So everybody, that's all we have on Crybaby Dave Pakman right now. Do me a favor, hit like and subscribe and share the uncomfortable truths. Take care, everybody.
Who is now making his way to the world-famous octagon, flanked by UFC CEO Dana White, 45, soon to be 47, President-elect Donald Trump.
I wish the people at home could hear the sound in this room.
It's so loud in here.